This battery costs $950. Well, not with my discount code. But still, this battery can cost almost $900. And sure, if your car is having a hard time starting up, and if you're starting to notice some weird electrical issues like a slow window motor, and definitely if this sign is popping up, then yeah, you probably do need a new battery. But do you really need one that costs almost $900?
Not if the battery is in good condition. That warning only indicates that the charge is low, not necessarily the actual condition of the battery, so just test it to see if it needs to be topped off. But at a health rating of 3%, this one definitely needs to be replaced. Although we could repair it as a temporary fix until the new battery comes in, just keep a jumper in the car until then. To remove the old battery, take off the bracing and terminals, which are all held in by 10mm. Then to prevent the terminals from making contact, we'll be borrowing the covers from our new battery. Then we can go for the 13mm holding in the bottom cleat, which is much easier to get off with a 1/4" wobble extension. On the other side, disconnect the gaseous waste port, then push the battery as far to the rear as possible before pulling it out. Just make sure to use good ergonomics, as this thing is in an awkward position and needs to be angled out and also weighs quite a bit.
58.6 pounds according to my scale. Although it's not the heaviest thing in the world, it's not something that I would call light either. As you can see, you can't simply take it by one hand and swing it all over the place. So if you're somebody like me who cares about weight reduction, not just in the performance of the car, but also on its wear and tear, then this is an area that we can definitely save a lot of weight while also increasing the car's reliability when it comes to its battery usage. Which brings us to the anti-gravity battery that comes in 39 pounds lighter. And I will agree, that price tag is hard to swallow. But let's just say you were to pick up another OEM battery for $250 with it coated. There's nowhere else that you could go to take that $650 that you saved to get a modification that will drop you 40 pounds, albeit maybe completely removing some seats, but at least with this, you get a built-in jumper. Inside your box will be a manual, but if you prefer an electronic version, there is a QR code there for you to scan, along with one for your warranty registration. You should also have 2 remotes, as well as some hardware that we don't need in this case. When you take out the battery, you'll understand why I recommend this one over OEM to most of the people I talk to. There's just no way you can handle the OEM battery like this, and it will make future replacements as well as this installation so much easier.
Before dropping it in, let's clean up a little first. In some cases, you can also get a battery with smaller dimensions, but for the F30, the H8 is the only battery size that will fit with all the OEM bracing, so you'll have to angle it in, but at this weight, it shouldn't be a problem. The LiPo4 lithium in the anti-gravity battery has a different chemistry than the OEM lead acid battery, so it doesn't have a gaseous waste port and it's more stable than other lithium batteries that catch on fire. In fact, the built-in battery management system even has thermal and short circuit protections, as well as cell balancing to keep the battery in its prime operating zone, thereby giving it the longest life cycle possible of 7 to 9 years, depending on use and climate. But for peace of mind, the battery does come with a 5-year warranty. The BMS will also prevent over discharging even if accessories like a dash cam is running. This way there is always enough power to turn the car over. If that happens, the battery will put itself to sleep to save power, and the included remotes and button will wake the battery up when it's time for you to start the car. Just make sure to charge it as soon as possible with a LiPo4 approved charger. Do not use a lead acid charger or charging algorithm. For most people, 60 amp hours will be more than enough, as the cold cranking amps is double that of the OEM battery. But if you feel that you need the extra power, they do also make this in an 80 amp hour version. Both versions will also prevent overcharging, but just to be safe, we'll register the new battery to the car. This is something that you should do even with an OEM battery, because as the battery ages, the system will charge the battery more aggressively. So we want to reset that system every time a new battery is installed. With everything in, hook it up to a battery tender so we can code it in one of 2 options. First is with Bimmer Code and Bimmer Link. Connect the OBD2 adapter and jump into Bimmer code. If it's been a while, you may need to install some updates before you can select your adapter and chassis. But once you're in, go into the front electronic module and toggle on expert mode. Then in the search bar, type in battery, then select battery class. Since there isn't a 60 amp hour lithium option, Antigravity suggests using the 70 AGM option. This is the only thing that we need to code in this app, so once it's coded in, go into Bimmer link. Inside the 12 volt battery option, we should see that the system reads our battery as a 70 AGM battery. Now we can register it, which resets the charge rate. Then you can remove the adapter. On the other hand, if you have a scan tool like the C-Reader Elite, will plug into the OBD2 port. And in the diagnose section, click through to coding program if a different amp hour battery is being used. Select the appropriate chassis, followed by retrofit. Confirm your car's information, then the new battery's amp hour. For lithium batteries, if no option is available, select the closest AGM option. Once that's coded, go back to the original code screen and select special function instead of coding program. In the body section, scroll down to register battery exchange. Select F2 and ensure the battery value is accurate. Then select same capacity and if it's OEM or not. Then just click through the remaining prompts to set your clock. After that last confirmation screen, you can safely disconnect the reader. Followed by the tender. When you first fire up the car, you'll notice it turns over about a second quicker. Which is similar if you ever needed to jump your car. But now that this car no longer needs a dedicated jumper, I decided to swap it out for a dual-purpose tire inflator, updating the emergency roadside toolkit, which you can check out in this video, and I'll see you in that one.